like to call this meeting to order for the Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors, November 7th, 2023. Roll call, please, Mr. Veeder.
Hall.
Here.
Little.
Here.
Schwartz.
Here.
Shelka.
Here.
Leyland.
Here. Would everyone please join us for a moment of silence to reflect on our actions today? Thank you. Would you please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 1 is the agenda received as proposed or as amended.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is received. Number 2 is public comments. Is there anyone in the audience today that would like to speak on something that is not on today's agenda? Please give your name and address and
Aaron
your
Stacy
comments.
Roberts, 411 Almond Street, Waterloo, Iowa. This morning, I think all of you have gotten a copy of some of my concerns that I'm having. And what the biggest concern is right now is I have a court date for 109 acres that was sold, which I was an heir to. There were 29 heirs in total. Only 3 heirs got a notice to appeal the sale, nor did we sign a family settlement agreement, 26 of them. When I noticed that after I received a check saying it was a gift for my part of the land, I hired an attorney, at which time I became the administrator. During this time, I found that there was fraud committed on every family member in more than one way. And what I mean by that is financially, everyone was shorted at least $1,000 in comparison to the check and the final report. On the 21st of December, I have a court date that I cannot possibly close this estate, seeing that it's full of fraud. I have been to both of the county attorneys here, where the checks were wrote and cashed, most of them, where the fraud took place here in Waterloo, and also Buchanan County. I'm asking that you get Mr. Williams or someone to look into the criminal part of it. I've done the same thing with the city of Waterloo. Benign neglect and intentional just not working to try to resolve this problem is what I'm getting from law enforcement. And law enforcement, to do benign neglect is the same as working against a person, whether they know it or not. Another problem that I have is in the case MHO 13288, I was red flagged by Dan Treco and a lady named Cerise Atkins, who I've never met before in my life, so she couldn't have known me well enough to give a psychological diagnosis of me. In that, Judge Stigler, I guess he turned into a psychiatrist also, because he found me to be seriously mentally impaired. I'm none of the above. What I have ran into is corruption that goes back to a case 9914612, which was out of Urbandale, Iowa, and it has been reported on June 21st of 99, but I have not got Waterloo, none of the administrations from 99 to present time to investigate. In Urbandale, they asked who some of the contacts was that I made to try to find out where the person that went in the restroom stuck his finger in my daughter's vagina and told her, tell your daddy he no longer has $500,000, and if you tell your mother, we're going to kill her. That was in 99. I have told Treco, Duck Clark, and all the rest of them from the Ruff administration on that my children have been living under Stockholm Syndrome. I'm here today. Like I said, I have a case that's in court next month that needs criminal investigation done. The fraud is right there. I've given you the information and you can look it up. In the other piece of information I gave you, which was a letter from Mr. Dave Dutton to the life insurance company, I wanted you to notice the date on that. February 14th of 99. I had to include this because I've been called everything from delusional to crazy to seriously mentally impaired. And what this is a record from Blank Children's Hospital that shows that my daughter was examined for a kidnapping rape, because the moment she wanted to leave out the bathroom stall, that was a kidnapping. The moment the perp put his finger in her vagina, which the doctor said happened, that was the rape. I'm asking that the county do their job and investigate the crimes that are ongoing. The damage that was caused by Dan Trackle is still ongoing in my life. I have been getting threats to kill me, my grandchildren, and my family over the years, and I can't protect myself legally because of a lie he told and decided he was going to make me, I was going to shoot up City Hall. This is what I told you, Dan Trackle, was my weapon, my ink pen. Today I'm banging you with money and more. Please look into my concerns.
All right, well, thank you. I was going to say it. Thanks very much. Is there anyone else that would like to speak during public comments? Please give your name and address.
My name is Robert Sauter, 8927 Terry with an I Road, Janesville. Phone number 815-791-0749. I'm building an outbuilding, just briefly. I have a disagreement with the building department. I've been in construction all my life. I would say I'm an expert in codes and building. I'm a licensed professional engineer in the state of Illinois. I recently retired, but I'm being held to a standard that does not exist in writing. They're saying any structure larger than 1,000 square foot needs to have a frost footing. I'm saying you measure the square footage of a building by the usable square foot. They're saying they measure it by the gross square footage of the building. Either way is acceptable. It just kind of depends who you talk to. But since there's nothing in writing about this 1,000 square foot, I mean, we're arguing over 40 square foot. So I'm saying since this 1,000 square foot rule does not exist in the statutes, and there's nothing in writing about how you determine if the 1,000 square foot is usable space or gross square footage, then by, it follows logically that they can't hold me to that standard.
Thank you.
I will get on the agenda and attend next week's meeting.
So where was the building located? What was your number again?
8927 Terry Road. It's not in Janesville proper. It's
It's okay.
about a mile west. I have talked to Tom Little, so he's aware of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else that would like to speak during public comments?
Hello, John Childs, 1474 Audubon Drive. Thank you for your service as an elected official myself on City Council. I understand the amount of stress and turmoil it can be sitting back there. What I wanted to talk briefly about today is the future and working together with the cities of the county. I'm a strong believer in regionalization, moving the entire county forward as a whole so that way we can all prosper. And I believe we have a county supervisors board that wants to do that. I know Supervisor Trelka came and spoke with us at City Hall yesterday about working together for our evidence building, and I want to see more of that happen. Grow Cedar Valley has provided me with a 69-page Cedar Valley River Trail idea. So how we can work together to get the entire county behind a true nature-based opportunity for tourists to come from out of the state. We already have a theme park. We already have a water park. We already have some of the best trails in the state of Iowa, the longest trails. We already have a lot of the infrastructure present in order to attract people to the Cedar Valley, and I want to move forward as a group to make this happen for the Cedar River Trail. So I plan on reaching out to each of you to meet one-on-one to go through this presentation a little bit and work together on how we can create an experience for all of our citizens and for people all over the nation. So again, thank you for your work, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for your service as well, John. Anyone else that would like to speak during public comments? Is there anyone on Zoom that would like to speak on public comments? Seeing and hearing none. Item number 3 is Years of Service Awards to employees with 20 or more years of service. Mr. Reeder.
Good morning. There are 3 employees to be honored today with 20 years of service from the Health Department: Maureen Stockdale, 25 years of service from the Sheriff's Office, Adam Stainbrook, and 35 years of service from Consolidated Communications, Sheree Van Howen. So, not sure if any of them are here today, but yes, Sheriff Thompson will take, there it is. You want to take Sheree too? All right. Thank you.
Great. Well, thank them all. I guess, unfortunately, they aren't here today, but I was going to say, certainly want to thank for all their many years of service. You said, I think, 35, 25, and 20, really? So, because they've been here a long time, so appreciate their service. Item number 4 is a presentation from the United Way campaign.
Hi, my name is Lucas Cook. I'm with Cedar Valley Eye Care. I'm the current board chair for Cedar Valley United Way. First of all, just like to thank you all for having us here just to present and kind of kick off our campaign for this year. Kind of briefly want to just go over this year. Our campaign is Champions for a Change. What that consists of is about over a dozen past chairs coming back, uniting to help spread the word, educate, and help to create more community outreach and connections. Of course, Tony back here is one of them, so he's out spreading the word. But I think the impact with that connection of all those past chairs coming back just kind of signifies the importance and kind of the need for our community and helping to develop those connections, help to bring more partnerships together to provide resources to continue to provide for the most needed individuals, help provide for organizations. We have an acronym this year called CHAMP, and what that acronym stands for is C, community focused, community centered, and local. I think that's critical with understanding that 99% of our funds raised stay here locally. I know with United Way, it's a big organization. There's United Way worldwide, and some people may think a lot of money leaves the area, but 99% of it on average right around there stays here locally, which is huge. H, holistic approach. That's a big part of our approach with trying to identify the most critical needs and trying to provide funds to those to ratify them. So we're not just, we have an emergency fund that we have for critical needs, emergent, but the biggest set of our goals is trying to identify the root cause and trying to help with bridging those gaps. A, for assessing the community needs and responding. I think this is one part that kind of sets the United Way apart from the rest of the organizations is how we assess and gather data. We work with entities like Blackhawk Community Health, the hospitals, UNI, and we have data teams that help to try to identify and reach out to the community and provide that critical data where we need to provide those funds. Our staff members also continue to provide for focus groups to actually bring in those individuals that typically this funding goes to and talk with them on the ground level and see where their concerns are. And all that then comes around to help providing the data and how the funding goes and gets allocated. The next is M, for the most vulnerable, kind of just touching base what I just briefly said, the most vulnerable populations, trying to fill the gaps, create opportunities for all in the community to thrive. And last is P, partnership, which is why we're here talking to all of you and reaching out to the rest of the community, because the partnerships within the Cedar Valley are the most critical for collaborating to build more stakeholders in accomplishing this goal that no single entity can do alone. So kind of briefly just kind of summarizing how our campaign and how we choose the different organizations, how that goes is we have a 2-year grant cycle, and every 2 years we have nonprofits provide for grants with identifying certain programs that they want to fund. From that, we have a bunch of community members, CIT individuals is what they're called, community impact teams, and we have one for health, income, and education. And what they do is then sit down with all the data that we've received from all the data processing, and then take the grants that we've received and try to put them in some sort of hierarchy as to how these relate to the most critical needs. From there, once they choose the most important needs that we have and what we're trying to strive to eradicate in our Cedar Valley, then what they'll do is give them half the money the first year, because then in that first year, those members will go out and do site visits and continue to follow up on these organizations to follow through as to are they doing what they said they were set out to do, and make sure the funds are actually being appropriately used and that the goals that were set out to achieve are being achieved. And then after that, for the next year, they'll get the remainder of the money. We've maybe once or twice in the last 10 years have not had to fund. I mean, it just shows how honest and how hardworking our community is in trying to develop goals to achieve a better lifestyle for those that typically won't have that. So just kind of wanted to come here and kicking off the campaign and just kind of educate and inform kind of a little bit of how the Cedar Valley actually works and how it can identify and be different compared to other organizations, and the fact that when you give $1 to the United Way, it's not just giving it to the United Way, but it's giving it to 39 organizations with around 64 programs, so your dollar is spread out widely and you can feel like you're making a large impact. So just wanted to thank you all for allowing us to come out and just kind of kick off this campaign, and hope that these partnerships can continue to grow and thrive and continue to improve our community. We're willing to answer any questions anybody may have, or
I just want to touch on the logistics of this a little bit. So we're doing a little different campaign this year. We're actually having several co-chairs like Lucas, who's here today, to go out and speak to the departments directly. So we have about 8 staff meetings set up to kind of kick off our campaign, and they start at the sheriff's range tomorrow morning. And then they end with public health December 1st for one of their lunch and learns. But this poster, you'll see this, is going to be going around, posted throughout the offices, and employees, if they wish to pledge a donation, they can have a deduction set up with the auditor's office. That deadline is going to be December 15th, so that we can have those deductions come out beginning in 2024. But we're excited to kind of have a little bit different approach this year. In the past, they've just come to the department head meeting and it's on the department heads to roll this out, and we did see a bit of a drop off. Some of that was being the pandemic and some of the less visibility of United Way and other partners that way. But we're hoping to have a more successful campaign this year. So, any questions at all?
No.
Great.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Moving on to item 5, claims and payments. This is a resolution that the Board of Supervisors approve expenditures, and that the county auditor be authorized and directed to issue checks against the various settlement of such claims as allowed.
So moved. Second?
Moved and seconded. Ms. Wiedner?
Good morning, Board.
Good morning.
Our bill payments today are $339,632.50. And the 60/40 fund, we're paying $2,670.89. There are just a couple of kind of significant things coming out of there. We are paying for the tractor for conservation for $51,150. And then we are also purchasing quite a bit of software, and that's actually for the E91 or dispatch services, and that's about $55,000. And everything appears to be in order. Are there any questions today?
Any questions? Please answer as your name is called.
Hall,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Jelka,
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Thank you. Item 6, receive project updates from department heads and elected officials.
Good morning, Board. Kathy Nicholas, County Engineer. All roads are in good and clear condition. Our mechanics are busy putting on the wings and the snow equipment. I want to remind you that next week, a week from today, I've invited you all to come and tour the Longfellow Maintenance Facility. That's on at 1329 Longfellow Avenue in Waterloo. Right after this board meeting, we're planning to take no more than about an hour to show you the facility. And then I also wanted to ask you about preparing for a work session possibly on November 21st. That would be the Tuesday of the Thanksgiving Day week. If you would be here, I would like to present you with some information about special assessment districts. We've received a petition from a group of citizens to enact a special assessment district. The Iowa Code Chapter 311 provides for secondary roads to establish a special assessment district. I'd like to present you with some information and fill you in on that at that November 21st board meeting, if there will be enough in attendance. I will plan on that.
I'll be here. Yep, I'll be here.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Can
you.
answer any questions. Thank you.
Oh, super, thank you. Any other updates? Yeah.
Amanda Fesmeyer, HR Director. So last week I mentioned having a strengths workshop, and I did have some feedback about, is it physical strengths or, and no, it's a Discover Your Strengths assessment workshop, so for employees. And I just sent out the flyer and information about that last week. The board is also welcome to take that assessment and participate in that workshop. The workshop is designed to, give employees a chance to utilize a tool that helps them identify and understand and maximize their strengths in the workplace and outside the workplace in relation to working with others. So, again, those sessions are scheduled for December 11th and December 13th. Employees only have to attend one of them. It is a 3-hour workshop. They do have to sign up by December 1st, and they have to take the online assessment by December 4th. So we're really excited about this. We had a lot of people already sign up, and again, the board is welcome to attend that. I will forward you the email that I sent out last week in case any of you want to participate in that assessment as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning, Board. Nate Neff, Jail Administrator. Just a couple quick updates. One, you may see some of our uniformed officers looking a little bit more scruffier this month than next. We've started our No Shave November fundraiser where people can pay $60 and they're allowed to grow beards, which normally they don't, and then that money goes to charity. And this year we've elected to donate to Family and Children's Council. So I think all told it was about $2,500 we'll be able to donate to them. And then I just wanted to give a quick update on the ARPA project that we've got going with the clerical pool and lobby remodel. The lobby portion of it's pretty well done. Still waiting on some of the lighting and that kind of stuff to come in. So while it's mostly done, it still has a kind of an unfinished look. But then they've pretty well torn the clerical area and are in the process of framing that back up. So it's starting to take shape. So if anybody wants to come over and look at that, I'd be happy to show you around. But along those lines, to move the clerical pool and stuff out, I see Rory's online. His crew is a big help in getting us moved out, and they've been a big help throughout the project, so I want to say thank you to Rory. And then Al's crew with the IT department has been nothing short of amazing for us. We had to relocate everyone from the clerical area to different offices, and they've turned one-person office into two-person offices. They've moved people to where there was never phone lines or data, and without any complaining, anything I've needed from your crew, Al, they've been right there. They've been running lines. They've been doing whatever we asked of them. So I truly thank you for all your help too and your crew. So
Thanks.
I got there.
Super, thank you.
Thank you.
I don't know if there's anybody else left in the room to give an update. Anyone online on Zoom that would like to give an update?
Good morning, Board. This is Yolando Lovelace, Blackhawk County Veterans Affairs Director. And just wanted to take a few minutes to take opportunity to say thank you and happy Veterans Day to Supervisor Little and Trucka, and also Sheriff Thomas and all of the various veterans that work throughout the county, this great city and this great state. In this standpoint, apologize for not being there. This is my first opportunity to get away from home for a couple of days since the loss of my best friend, which is my dad. In that standpoint, but we have various veterans opportunities throughout the week, starting Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm speaking at a couple of them. In particular, the focus is on Americanism, with honor, educate, and to remember, with the emphasis on remembering the Great War, which is World War II, where if it wasn't for Pearl Harbor, how our country came together after the Great Depression and formed the factories and the mechanism, the war mechanism, to fight two wars simultaneously. Even at the great loss of life, our country came together. And at a time like today, this is kind of like what we need to be speaking at again, is a country that has held such a rich history of coming together at times of need. This is one of those times in that standpoint. Then looking at the various things that we're doing throughout the week, in particular, I sent you the slides for how well our staff has been doing. And again, I have to take my hat off to my staff for all the behind the scene things that they've been doing in preparation for the holidays for our veterans. We are getting a large amount of gift cards together to support our veterans for Thanksgiving, our surviving spouses, and veterans for Christmas. I'm just reminded that Sheriff Thompson and his group provided from the No Shave Chip thing that they did last November. They provided a healthy donation. And because of organizations like Sheriff Thompson and various organizations throughout the county, we're able to do this. And we're going to be generous, to our veterans this year, in particular during Thanksgiving and Christmas, because we're really taking in more revenue than we're actually being able to get out. So this is going to be a very special Christmas for our veterans, and we look forward to it. So any veteran that is underprivileged, not having a whole lot, suffering from anything, send them our way. We're already been helping veterans with coats, with hats, with gloves, with gift cards. And that's not going to stop throughout the rest of the year. We're here for that. That's our primary purpose, and we look forward to helping any veteran that is in need in that standpoint. And then from the 6th to the 13th is Operation Greenlight, where the county, where the state, where the city, various citizens can show their support for veterans by just displaying a green light, a green candle, something green in their window. In that standpoint, our office does have green bulbs. We appreciate the county for last year for actually putting that on the docket. In that standpoint, this is our second year, and we think that's going to continue every year. So we didn't ask the county to do anything special this year. We're just going off of the pretense that it's going to continue to happen. So we ask that the county continue to support us on that. This is a veteran-friendly county. So we are very appreciative to all the great things that this county does for veterans, in particular the city of Waterloo, with the banners, with the bridge lighting, and with the upcoming ribbon cutting of the Sullivan's Parkway at the Convention Center. A lot of great things that are happening. We just ask that you get involved and support our veterans throughout the rest of this season. Just standing by to address any questions or concerns.
No, thanks very much, Yolanda. Looks like no questions. Thank you. Is there anyone else on Zoom that would like to speak today? Hearing none, we'll move on to the agenda item then for the minutes being approved for October 31, 2023.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Minutes are approved. Item 8 is the consent agenda. The following items will be acted upon by a single resolution without separate discussion unless someone wishes to remove an item.
So moved.
Second.
Please answer as your name is called.
Little,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Trelka,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Item 9, contracts and agreements. This is a resolution that the agreement received from Flanker Land Architecture Consultants, Long Grove, Iowa, for stream mitigation permitting services for the Brandon Road and Oxley Road grading project in Blackhawk County with a quote of $13,600 be approved and for the chair to sign as recommended by Catherine Nicholas, County Engineer.
So moved.
Second.
Kathy. Slides.
Good morning, Board again.
Morning.
So I wanted to give you just a 2-minute more detail about this agenda item. We have contracted with Meg Flanker and Associates to provide some work on mitigation at this site. This is located, this is just an aerial view of, we have a creek coming along the north side of Brandon Road, and this is down in the LaPorte City area of the county. This creek has meandered over the years, and it's beginning to cut very close to the roadway. And we're concerned that this is a safety issue as our people are out plowing during the winter, as well as for drivers. This is a fairly deep ditch, and it is getting very close to the road in some locations. We want to be proactive and realign this stream. In order to do that, we need a permit from the Corps of Engineers. Due to some changes in administration or regulations, mitigation of any type of stream bank or stream relocation is requiring more mitigation, and it's more expensive mitigation, just due to the fact that it's more. We're hoping that by hiring Flanker and Associates, we will be able to minimize some of the mitigation that we have to do for this project. Right now, the cost of the mitigation is more than the cost of the project, so it's upwards of $200,000 or $300,000 to grade and realign this stream. We've already acquired the right-of-way, but we think it would be money well spent to hire this consulting firm to help us minimize, the amount of mitigation we need to purchase, and it would alleviate a safety issue by doing this. And this money would come out of our professional services for FY24. Can I answer any questions?
Approximately how long does it take, Kathy, to get this report back, then, or for them to?
I don't know exactly. We're hoping 60 to 90 days, just a few months, so that by early spring we're able to continue with the project and get it let.
How much were you hoping to save? Any projection?
We don't know. Like I said, right now, the Corps has told us what our current mitigation would be. We have to do it off-site, and it would be upwards of $200,000 or $300,000 for the mitigation. We don't know. We don't have much experience with this type of work.
Okay.
I will keep you informed when we hear back from them and what their recommendations are.
Okay.
Thank you. Any other questions for Kathy? This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Schwartz.
Yes.
Jelka.
Yes.
Hall.
Yes.
Little.
Yes.
Valen.
Yes. Item B, resolution that the contract with Lexipol LLC for the use of Cortico, a wellness app designed specifically for first responders at a cost of $11,249.25 to be paid out of the 40% portion of the room and board fund, be approved as recommended by Nate Neff, Jail Administrator.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Nate.
Morning.
Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, just kind of wanted to touch on that a little bit. Again, as you may or may not know, the suicide rate for law enforcement, depending on the study you read, are anywhere from 50% to twice that of the general public. And those numbers actually skew even higher when you get into corrections. About 20% of law enforcement is affected by PTSD. You get into corrections, that number goes up to closer to 35%. You get into substance abuse, the general public has about a 10% rate of substance abuse disorder. You get into law enforcement corrections, that number goes up to 20 to 30%. We have an excellent peer support team that's comprised of our staff as well as dispatch. We've used EAP through Human Resources, but we want to make sure that we're doing all we can for our staff. This app is designed specifically for first responders. It's got people available 24/7 on it, licensed counselors. There's still that stigma. Even though I've got a peer support team, I may not want to talk to this guy because he works with me. Is my dirty laundry going to get hit throughout the department? This has people on staff 24/7 that you can either chat with by phone, by message, however you want to do that. We're able to build it with our own staff as well, so we can actually put the numbers in. So even if I'm sitting at home and I want to talk to somebody on the peer support team, but I can't remember who's on that, there's a link through that to get me to there. But then there's also, when you go into the app, there's about 60 different tabs that you can go into. Well, it's not just about peer support, it's not just about suicide prevention, it's not just about PTSD. There's financial wellness, There are workout routines, there's diet routines. We can upload any of our own stuff into it as well. So it's just an all-around well-being app for good health, for good living. The nice thing on that is they base it kind of off of a range of how many officers we have. So with the quote we were given, we're able to encompass both dispatching and conservation into it too. So it's not just going to benefit the sheriff's office, it'll benefit a couple of the other offices within the county as well.
And this is all like a one-year subscription?
This is a one-year subscription. We'll be able to reassess it after a year. There's a dashboard that as administrators will be able to go to and see that X number of people used this portion of the app. We won't, everything's confidential. I can't look at it and see that Nate and F went and looked for marriage counseling or whatever, but I can see that 5 people looked at the financial, 6 people were in trauma or in crisis. So we can still get the numbers from it. So if a year from now we look and only 2 people logged in, we're probably going to say, well, we're probably not going to redo this. But, and I'm sure at first people will probably be leery to take advantage of it, but I'm hoping as time goes on, it becomes more of a thing that people take more and more advantage of. And I think especially with the generation in the workplace now, I think it's probably a lot more inviting for them to get on their phone and do something honestly than it is to go face-to-face or person-to-person with something. So I'm hoping it's going to be a real force multiplier for us as we get into our peer support team and just taking care of our own employees.
Thank you.
And you said this could be utilized by conservation and
Dispatch.
and dispatch as well.
Yep, and we've talked to Mike and Judy, and they're obviously both more than happy to have the service available. So.
And that's just everybody provided the same information and can access it at any time?
Yep, everybody will be given the login, and again, it's all confidential, whatever they do. Obviously, if someone says they're sitting there with an active plan to do something, then they'll call. But otherwise, yeah, they're counselors. That's one of the things, too, that we're able to upload counselors from the area and just make referrals through that and stuff, to at least make it so they can see who's available, as opposed to they don't have to Google it, they don't have to look for it. When they go on there, they're like, oh, well, there's this doctor here in Cedar Falls or this doctor in Waterloo that I can go talk to.
You said there is currently some peer-to-peer, but that's sort of
Yes.
the extent.
Yeah, we have a peer support team.
Yeah.
And again, we'll make referrals to it as administration. Hey, I know so-and-so is having a tough time. Why don't you reach out to them? Last time I talked to them, and again, that's not run by administration. The peer support team is run strictly, they kind of run themselves. Okay. So as administrators, we don't even know who's involved again unless it comes to a level of, hey, this person is definitely in crisis and definitely needs some help right now. Last I talked to them, there's 12 or 14 employees that routinely talk to somebody on the peer support team. Okay. So again, I think we've got a very strong foundation there, but this certainly isn't going to take the place of that. It's going to augment it.
Sure. But that's really almost exclusively mental health. It's not, that doesn't necessarily touch in the financial wellness or
No. Peer support is, they go to special training to kind of, I mean, they're basically a very low-level counselor. It's more, you feel comfortable talking to me, Tavis, you come and say, man, I'm having problems at work, I'm having problems at home, whatever, and I kind of talk you through it, and I think they kind of have a direct line in with HR too, that if it's something they need to go to EAP with, they can, but this is another option for them.
Expands.
And again, if you're not comfortable talking to me or anyone on the team, just because there's that paranoia that if I go to you, you're going to tell my supervisor or you're going to gossip, whatever. Sure. Now I can talk to someone, and at 3 in the morning, if you're having issues, you may not feel comfortable calling me up at 3 in the morning, but you can get on that app and there's people there 24/7 for you.
Any more questions? All right, thank you.
Nate, I just have one question. This is Tom. Did you say in your email, or today I missed it, did you say there was other entities using this particular app?
I don't know if there's anybody in this. I don't know if there's anybody in this particular area that's using it. State Patrol is using it actually. Tony says so.
Okay, great.
And again, Lexipol is one of, if not the premier name in law enforcement. We've looked at a couple other apps. There was one that was just a little bit cheaper than this, but it was basically just the peer support. It didn't have the financial, it didn't have the health, it didn't have all that other stuff in it. So for very little more money, this one is far more encompassing.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Trelka,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Item 10, other business. Resolution that the fiscal year 23 financial report of the First Judicial District Department of Correctional Services be acknowledged and filed by the Board of Supervisors according to the bylaws of the Departments of Corrections.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
And as we all know, this is something we do annually. They just need to do this for their requirements. So this is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Hall,
Yes.
Little,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Felka,
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes. Item B is a motion that the personnel requisition for the office specialist full-time replacement with start date no sooner than November 27, 2023 in the Treasurer's Office be approved as recommended by Linda Hensman, County Treasurer.
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. The motion carries. Item 11, any reports or information from the board?
I would say that the Board of Health would like to do a joint meeting with the Board of Supervisors, and we're looking at tentatively December 20th. We're going to finalize the time, but looking at the 9 a.m. time, and probably doing it in the Pinecrest Chapel. The new AV equipment should be ready at that point, and looking at just doing this on an annual basis. So.
Thank you.
Just report back that today is the last day to get your responses in for the rebrand. So, folks want to take the opportunity to provide some input. I know there's well over 200. The initial goal was to get 100 responses, so well over 200 responses on that, which is great. Chris's our corporate creative has put those together in a report that I think is going to be shared out to the committee here today. There will be a follow-up email to supervisors and a few others asking for some additional input, but it's moving along. And then just to touch on an issue that I think we spoke about last week or the week before, I just had a chance this morning to go over some notes. We did on July 11th, we approved $118,500 for the community services. We spoke, actually it was at Chairwoman Leyland's suggestion to use the additional dollars that we didn't spend in the previous fiscal year towards those community service dollars. So I know that
July 11th.
Yep, July 11th. So just wanted to bring that to folks' attention.
Okay, so
anybody
can
remember?
I address that a little bit?
Oh,
Because to do that, we're going to have to do a formal budget amendment and hearing, and that's what I meant you had not taken formal action on when I spoke about that the week or two ago.
Okay.
But that's, yeah, we did discuss it. Yep.
So when would we
So we-
need to do
Well,
that?
probably,
Would just
you know,
recommend any?
probably not still going to do it till spring.
Okay.
Honestly. But if you can informally say you're going to do that, and I think that's
we did.
fine.
Take
Yep.
action on it, so that, okay. Thank you. Any other reports or information to come before the board?
I got one thing, Linda. You know,
Yes.
a couple of weeks ago, it was brought up about the evidence. There was going to do some discussion going on, and the gentleman today brought it up. Has there been any progress on that for the evidence facility on joint?
Yes, I approached the city councils in Waterloo and Cedar Falls last night, and I'm getting feedback from the Waterloo City Council and the police department that they're interested in continuing these discussions. So, the point I'm at right now is working with Chief Leibold to formally bring something forward to the Board of Supervisors and the Waterloo City Council.
Has the sheriff been involved in any of those?
I'll have, I think Chief Leibold will initiate those conversations.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, or information for the board? All right, we'll move on to item 12. It's closed session. This is a resolution that pursuant to the provisions of the Iowa Open Meetings Law, the Blackhawk County Board of Supervisors shall proceed into closed session at 9 a.m. for the purpose of collective bargaining strategies pursuant to 20.17 of the Code of Iowa.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. This is a resolution. Please answer as your name is called.
Little,
Yes.
Schwartz,
Yes.
Felka,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Leyland.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, super, thank you. Entertain a motion, the Board of Supervisors meeting closed session be adjourned.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign, motion is carried. Entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, all in favor, say aye.
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 Meeting's adjourned. Thank you all.